Hi there. Any sound? I don't.
There we go.
Oh yes.
Only like 12 buttons later. Oh my goodness. Please. Oh, no, I'm still here. Okay. What a crazy morning, David.
I gather.
I am sorry. It was supposed to be a quick thing, and like the dealer was calling, and they're like, very politely, like, get your crappy car out of here.
Oh jeez.
you know. So,
What do you mean? It's a new car, isn't it?
uh, I took the new car home and left my Mustang there. So,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
you know, tires are sitting there flat. So yeah,
Ah.
I'm here now for a short little lesson.
Oh well.
Yeah,
So, how's your new car?
great,
Good.
great. It's a car. It's got lots of buttons, but um, yeah, yeah. It'll be it'll be nice to not worry about the kids. If
Oh,
it's got rear airbags and stuff like that. So
oh, great. Oh,
yeah.
that's cool. Good. Good. Okay. Well, so how's Cloud Hands?
Good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so. Feels good. So
Okay. So let's just do a little standing um, first, and then we'll go into Cloud Hands, and um, I'll start with you, but then I'll stop and watch you for a little bit.
that sounds perfect.
Okay. No, that's not what you want to do, David. So stepping out, first just let yourself land. Been very busy this morning. Let go of the busy. Let yourself feel where you are. Through your feet, connecting all the way down to the earth. And the head lifted and breathing. Let the breath slow and relax. And feel the breath sinking through your body. Feel the chi flowing down with the breath. Just that chi which the body can no longer use, that needs to be cleansed and return. Then extend your mind through your body so that you can begin to really feel inside your body. And feel where there are blockages or interruptions or reduced flow. And dissolve those places. Ice to water, water to gas, out into the etheric body. That energy can be recycled and returned. And then, presuming that you've done as much of that as you can at the moment, blow into the cloud hands. Stepping out wider with the right. Perhaps starting very slowly at first. Being very aware of each part of this movement. Finding the roundness and the arcs and the energy moving out and back in. Out to the 5 extremities. Back into the center. And just keep going for a minute. So relax your shoulders a bit. Okay, and come to a pause. Good, that is definitely coming along.
Mm-hmm.
What I would suggest is that I think perhaps um, you're tending to go out a little too much in front of yourself. You're
Okay.
absolutely right that this is an arc up and out. It's not in. So you're on the right track. It just felt as if you were extending too much.
Yeah, I kind of felt like it, and I kept telling myself like, "Don't do that." And my arm was like, "Nah, we're going out there today." I'm like, "Okay."
Your arm had a mind of its own.
Yeah, I kept saying like that feels like a lot.
Yeah.
So, but okay.
Yep. Um, and it looked like you had the curve at the sides. That was really good. Um, uh, I think the thing that I would suggest that we add at this point
Okay.
is the pushing and pulling of the energy like we do, uh, we did in our standing work previously.
Okay.
So do you remember about that?
How about you? I will when you say a couple more words.
So um, when we think about the fact that um, as we bend in, we can pull energy in and we can push energy out.
Okay. Yep.
So this I mean clearly the whole arm is involved in that, but the focus here in a way is really the Laogong point in the palm, because if you can really get this sense that as you pull in, the Laogong point is sinking in, and as you push out, it's expanding out. That will really help to really begin to get the energy to flow, even if initially it's only in the arms.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Uh, Ultimately, you want to get Yong Chuan, the bubbling well, on the bottom of your foot to coordinate with it. But the best thing to do really is just to start with Lao Gong. And in this movement, um, we push out to the side and then we pull in to the center. And then we push out to the side and pull in to the center. And you should eventually find adding that sense of pulling and pushing to really increase the energy flow.
My arm.
Yeah.
My arm really wants to go out there. Okay, so both hands are pulling in, pushing out.
Exactly.
Because it feels like it just wants to happen. Would does this also have like the bowing? The
Of the back,
yeah, yeah. Like
fine.
bend and stretch. Would
Yep,
that also come in? Okay.
absolutely. Absolutely.
My one question is for the bubbling well, because that was a lot of letters I'm never gonna remember for the real name. Um,
It's all right.
um, those those have to alternate, right? Those aren't like the leg I'm leaving would be pulling in while the leg I'm going on, that foot would that be pushing out?
So, um,
I'm just curious, not that I'm trying to do all that at once.
yeah, in this particular exercise,
Hmm.
and it's completely different when we get into Tai Chi,
Okay.
where it is usually opposite. But here, actually, both are happening. Um, so when you go to the side, you're actually expressing energy out um, of the entire body.
Okay.
So the principal focus here is centered periphery and back.
Okay.
So when we talk about periphery, we're talking about fingertips, toes, and crown of head,
All five. Got it.
all five.
All five.
And so you're ideally feeling that energy moving to all of those points and then coming back from all of them into the center. So
Okay.
into the Dantian.
Okay. That
Nothing to it.
that's uh you know somehow both weirder, but seemed like just easier conceptually because at least everything's just going together. Um,
Well, that's what's happening here. It doesn't, um,
right.
that's not obviously true all the time.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
but here you're working on really getting the flow to be stable and consistent and full as possible throughout the entire body.
Okay. Um, it's like probably just I'm curious how this relates to twisting because those are opposites, right? Or are they both are they? Are they? I think they are.
Actually, no.
Okay.
So that's the difficult part. Um, in obviously when you get to the legs, with the arms, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
Um, what you have to be aware of. All right, if we're going to get into that now, that's fine. But what is happening here is that, for instance, in the arms, um, you're following the opposite edge in each arm.
Hmm.
So the um, the upper arm, the thumb edge is going out. In the hand going down, the little finger edge is going out. So they're both twisting out, but they're not twisting the same edge out.
Okay. Yeah, that makes that's like a cheat code. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Very cool.
And the difficult part here is that with the legs is, of course, they can only go in one direction, um, either in or out. But when you get over here, you actually want this leg to also be twisting out.
Right. Oh, okay. I can work with that. Sure. Sure. So just everything's all together in terms
Yeah.
of the direction of
So
everything's going out, everything.
everything's twisting in, everything's twisting out. Everything's twisting in, everything's twisting out. Everything's pulling in, everything's pushing out.
Okay.
Bending in, extending out, lengthening in, lengthening out. All of them are working together. Which is part of the power of this exercise, and why it does what it does in the body energetically.
Just like with, the hands or the arms or the legs or the feet, rather, uh, I should be able to just stand and pull energy in from the crown of my head and push energy out from the crown of my head.
Yep.
Right? Like that would be okay.
Yeah.
I quickly realized I'm like, oh yeah, that's up there.
So that's where the spine stretch comes in. Not
Okay.
not the Taoist spine stretch. I'm talking about bend the bow, shoot the arrow.
Right, right. Well, okay. Yeah, that makes sense that would help with that.
Yes, it would. But I think now that we've talked about all these details, it's really important to only practice focusing on one. And
Yeah. Yeah.
remember, that doesn't work to try to do them all at once, because it doesn't work.
Yeah, yeah. Because in my head, yeah, I was just trying to think like if when I go to try to like flow with it, right?
Yeah.
I will have all these questions. So
Yeah, no, that's fine.
that helps.
No, that's great that you have those questions, and I'm glad to answer them. But that was just a caution to
Yeah.
remind you to focus on one at a time.
Okay.
Good. Any other questions about cloud hands?
We still haven't done the spine stretch. I don't know if we have time for that today.
Actually, what I'm going to do is do there's an introduction to the spine stretch. There's
Okay.
no way we could do the spine stretch today, but
Yeah, I'm sorry.
there are 4 exercises to prepare you to doing the Taoist spine stretch.
Okay.
So yes. So you could sit down for a minute. Let me.
Do I need to sit down?
No, you don't. If you
Okay.
want to stand up, you may.
I don't really have a chair, so.
Oh, I see. That's too bad. Later on, a chair would be helpful, but.
I do have a bed, like I can pull it over. It's just if I don't have to.
Oh, okay. So with the Taoist spine stretch, we need to go through this in 2 phases. And a few things need to be understood about the spine stretch. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense. The standard thing is that when people want to stretch their spine, they just start with their shoulders or head and drop down, and there they go. But that's not how the Taoist spine stretch is done, because the first objective is actually not just to stretch your spine, is to connect the chi that moves between your legs and all the way to the end of your fingertips and to your spine, both going down and coming up. And the purpose of which is to ultimately really make this downward current very strong, but also to make sure that anything inside the spine or the spinal cord, which could limit that downward flow, is cleared out so you get the best possible flow. And the next thing is to make sure that when you come back up, that the chi from your legs goes all the way up to the top of your head and out to your fingertips, flowing as well as it possibly can, making sure that whatever is in the spine and the spinal cord that could block that flow is unblocked. So it's not about just being more flexible. It's not about just being a yoga or being a gymnast or being a contortionist or just having a more flexible spine. There are 3 ways of getting a spine to become very flexible. The first one is the ordinary way of just stretching the muscles of the back and the legs so that nothing is pulling on it. The second way, which is dramatically more useful, is to make sure that all the ligaments that attach to the spine, especially the big ones, now become really flexible and loose. But the third way, with very little movement, can cause the spine to maintain the overwhelming majority of its natural need, and that is to just get more energy to move up and down the spine. So maybe you remember the story about old Seven Bends that I told you some time ago, that guy in his 70s or 80s who was doing Kundalini, and by shooting energy through his body was able to do the most complex Hatha yoga postures. Well, there is something in the brain that tells the spinal cord to release, and the spinal cord tells the brain to release. And a lot of what happens when you stretch is that you simply remove the locks that prevent it. Say you're in an office and you're sitting in a chair and you have to work on your computer all day. That may sound familiar. Now we ask a question. Can you lie down and stick your legs behind your head and stretch your spine? Where you are, yes, but not in your office. Can you go through a salute to the sun? Can you stretch your body? Well, with the Taoist spine stretch, you can just do it sitting and with very little movement. By paying attention to what's going on, get your spine to be fully online as much as you're probably going to need for normal real-time activities. Not exceptional activities, but normal real-time activities. Another part of this is that you see most stretches go from the head first, but that's not where the weight is. The weight is on the bottom, and this whole thing is about releasing the spine from the bottom to the top. And then what has to be done to keep you straight, getting it to push up from the bottom to the top, which is what you need to do in order to bear weight. Not just the weight of your body, but also anything that happens to you. So it works on virtually the opposite principles of yoga. And why am I mentioning yoga? Only because it's very popular and well known. So this is how now what people think of as the idea of stretching. Before, it was just stretching, but then it became yoga. But there's something else. If you go to the Far East, at least if you go into Asia, where they use energetics to open up the body, there are 2 primary systems that everything else in Asia is a variation of. Bruce said at one point that he'd never seen anything on any other continent that didn't conform to this. One is the Taoist way, and the other is the yogic way. And the 2 are different in simple things. In Taoism, your chest is relaxed. In yoga, your chest is pushed up. The focus on your spine and the central channel in the 2 is different. And when you do yoga, you hold your breath. And in our Taoist practices, you never hold your breath. But these are the two primary methods, and there are a lot of differences in how they're done. And I'm mentioning yoga not from the point of view of yoga is popular, but in terms of what methods exist. And these are the two big ones. Now, before we can get to the actual Taoist spine stretch, we need to do some preliminary practice. We have to get used to having our spine connect through our hips down to our feet. And most people, when they want to just touch the floor, actually disconnect their spine from their hips and their legs. They just bend them. But what we're looking for is something else. The method is different. The object is very simple. Using the psoas muscle as your bending point, you bend from the qua and not from your head, not your shoulders, not your chest, not even your belly, but down at the qua. So in other words, the center point where the center of gravity actually is your pelvis, which is where you are moving from. Now, as you go forward and you go down, not only do you bend your spine forward, but you have to link your legs to the floor. So let me get where you can see me here. So some of this, of course, you're familiar with and you've done before, but I just want to repeat it to make sure we're really clear. So the first thing is that we want to be really clear that it's here that we're bending from. And we're going to really try to keep the back straight as we do that. And we're really primarily interested in feeling the energetic connection from the spine down through the legs to the feet and into the earth. And so this is the first thing to try. It's simply bending from the spine and so I want you to try that. Place the edge of your hands in the qua and simply bend forward and keep the back straight. And try to feel the energy moving from the spine down through your legs and back up.
Let me know if you want me to pick a different angle too.
It might be good to be sideways.
Sure.
And if you can, while you're doing this, see if you can feel the energy going all the way up to the top of your head and down to your feet. Because the object here is to get the top of your body to completely link through and be rooted through your legs into your feet. And most importantly, create a clean, energetic line from the top to the bottom. You want to keep your attention on the qua being the center of the movement. So that's the first one.
Okay.
Is
there like a when do I stop? Where, I guess like where do I stop? Like is here good? Should I like I know this isn't right, but like get to here? Am I like you know what I mean?
No, your focus in that one is just to bend at the qua and keep the back straight and find the energetic connection with that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's really it. You're just trying to find that feeling of, okay, everything's connected, like, and that's why the movement's happening.
In this case, the qua is the center of your movement, and it's really the pump that's moving the energy up and down.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
That sounds good. Sure.
So then the second one really is to do in effect the same movement, but now you want to add letting the arms be relaxed and loose, so not holding them here in the qua, but doing the same movement, and now you're trying to add feeling the energy moving between also the fingertips. So adding the movement of the energy through the arms as you're bending. So not only feeling the spine connecting to the legs and up to the head, but also through the arms as well. So that's pretty easy, I would think, to add in there.
Yeah.
You have a question about that at all?
Not really.
Okay.
Nothing crazy.
Then you're going to do all of that, but you're going to do it with a qua squat as well as, so not just a bend,
Okay.
but a qua squat. Now, there are a couple of things I want to say about that. We've talked about knees before, but haven't we talked about knees before? a million times.
Absolutely.
clearly, when you're doing a qua squat, the center of that movement, of course, is still the qua. But one of the things we want to think about here is that we want to keep the knees open, and we don't want to we want the energy to move through the knees. So one of the things that needs to happen is that before you start to go into the squat, you need to slightly open the knee.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean straighten it out.
Yeah.
It means to feel that you are energetically opening up that joint. And this is this is where the chair comes in. You're starting, of course, in your base position, and you open the knee, and now you're going to do a qua squat, but not let the knees go forward, and you're still keeping the back straight as you do that. And you're just, I'm demonstrating with the chair because since I can't be there and put my arm in front of your knees, this is a really good way, because if you begin to push your knees forward, it'll move the chair.
Right.
So you don't want the chair against the wall. You want it where it could move. And then you want this movement to be from the qua. And you're not trying to see how low you can go, but find where is the comfortable range of movement for you. And still feeling the energy moving all the way through to those 5 points. And you may, with this, really focus on the up and down flow, not into the center and out, but rather on flowing up and down through the body.
Okay.
So as you're bending, this could be moving from your feet up to the top of your head and out to the fingertips. And as you straighten, it can be moving from the head and the fingertips and down through the spine to the bottom of the feet.
Exact opposite of how I was doing it. Got it.
This has to do with how we do the Taoist spine stretch. We'll next session we'll go to that. So did you try the qua squat?
Yeah. Yep. I was trying to do it there with you there. If you'd like to watch, I can.
Okay, just a little.
Sure.
Okay. So the last thing to be really aware of is that you have to be particularly conscious of not allowing the head to droop or push back. The head has to stay straight.
Okay. Yeah.
And so simply doing the same thing you just did, but really beginning to focus for a little bit on just the head and keeping it straight, keeping the neck straight. That looks pretty good.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. It it's harder than it feels like it. Yeah, it's tricky, but it feels good.
Okay. So remember that the purpose of Qigong is to circulate Qi in your body and connect the Qi in your body. Um, the physical movements simply use this, the physical movements simply use this Qi to do whatever they do. It's not the movements that create the Qi, it's the Qi that create the movements.
Right.
So that's kind of that's just the introductory stuff to practice. And it's important because of the way that the Taoist spine stretch is done, which is much more complex than this.
Yeah.
So, do you have any questions about that?
I don't think so. It seemed to make sense, and it felt pretty good.
Okay, good. So, any form things, questions?
No, not really. I was able to get some this practice in the form, not so much this gap, but that's better than other weeks. So a little
Okay.
improvement, but yeah, so no form questions besides trying to completely rework how I feel like I move through stuff, but from like 2 classes ago. But yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Well, um, any questions? You know how to reach me,
Yeah, yeah.
and my thought about the money you gave us is that we can apply it to classes as we go along.
Oh, no, that was like a gift. That was like it's a gift.
Are you serious?
Yeah, no, David, it wasn't like
Well,
yeah. I don't need you to pay me back. I don't need you to do stuff. It was just like, hey, I just heard you having a rough go, and I have the capacity to help with that. There you go.
well,
You
we
know,
greatly appreciate that, Andrew. Thank you very
yeah,
much.
yeah. Just happy to, I'm happy to
Thank you
help.
to thank you to Kaya too.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I presume you talk about these things.
No, I don't even think I remembered to tell her that I did it. So it's just, you know what I mean? Like,
I
so I'll
see.
let her know that
Okay.
you say thank you. Um, yeah, no, it's, you know,
Well, I really appreciate it. It helped us at that moment immensely.
yeah, yeah, it seemed,
Good.
so yeah, I don't want, if I have the means to, yeah, and
Okay.
I don't want to hear about
All right.
repayment plans or anything. So yeah, you're welcome.
Okay. How are the kids?
Good, good.
Good.
Yeah, Rowan's he just seems to have more words every other day,
Yeah, I couldn't believe I heard him talking to you when you were working on the computer. I was like, whoa.
yeah, he's funny, like, he really likes it. It's so funny. We're like, we're joking, we're like super open, like if Lyra was like, I love monster trucks, we'd be like, cool, like how can we, let you explore monster trucks or whatever. And they have both just on their own fallen into such like average typical, like Lyra all of a sudden is just like, I love rainbow unicorns and the color pink and I only want to wear dresses. And Rowan's like, big monster trucks, so big, so cool, motorcycle, brrr, you know, you know, it's like, well, okay, sure. If that's, you love that, that's cool.
Yeah,
It's just, yeah, yeah,
isn't
because
that interesting?
just, yeah, yeah. But
Oh,
I'm sure tastes will fluctuate, but yeah. So he's just so funny. A loud car will go by and he'll be like, "Whoa, so cool!" Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, yeah. So they're good, healthy. Finally got the new car, so we can get them to go get their second vaccine, and then
Good,
start, start, start opening up, de-
good.
decompressing the quarantine
Oh,
slowly. You know.
great. Well, we look forward to that.
Yes. Yes. It's been a long span of time.
It has, yeah.
So
And it isn't really over.
no, it is not. No, and that doesn't help, right? Like, um, but we've talked a lot, and you know, uh, especially for Kaya, that sense of like community connection, actually seeing people is really important. So you know, uh, at the very least, it gives that peace of mind of like even doing outside visits. I know it's the middle of winter, but so in spring and stuff of like, okay, well, like I don't need to worry
Yeah,
so much. Like I've done everything I can, and we'll still, it'll still be like distance. I don't see us going into people's homes and stuff anytime soon, but it just gives you that peace of mind. So one step at a time.
yep. One step at a time, indeed.
Yeah.
And keep wearing your masks.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't. So many people are like, oh, sometimes I even go, if I go anywhere, it seems people like, oh, you're one of those people still wearing a mask. I'm like, yeah, you're one of those people gonna get like the next 4 variants, huh? Like, yeah,
You
I'll
know,
do me.
nobody has said that to me.
No, it's just like most people don't mind. It's just some people sometimes I can like you can see it on their face. They're like,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
yeah, like, oh, look at you're one of those guys. So,
yeah. I'm one of those. That's
uh,
I-
or maybe I just have beautiful hair. I don't know. Uh, that's what
maybe.
I tell myself. Yeah, but yeah,
Oh, good. Well,
yeah,
good. Hang in there, and
yeah,
I, you were saying about Kaya and meeting and all, and I remember all those Saturdays we had here where you both came and we had such a wonderful time together, and we really miss that.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. We miss it too.
yeah,
We talk about it. That's one of the big when we're talking about like how will we feel when they're vaccinated and stuff. It's like that's the type of thing that we miss, right? Just going and just physically hanging out, just eating lunch and just
yeah.
being with people. So yeah, we miss it too.
Well, good. It'll come back.
Yeah, yeah. So
All right, buddy. Hang in there. Thank you so much for your help with the camera. Obviously, it's working,
yeah, yeah.
and
Anytime.
and I don't I don't know what to do about Windows Update, but
Uh, you know, if it's like messing stuff up or you really do want to try to figure it out, I can hop on and like play around with it some more and see if I can't convince it to do it. Um, you probably aren't, it basically if it's an update that you should know about, you'll probably, usually it's like on websites or something, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, trying to think when I could look at it. Um,
Well, other than the camera thing, everything has been functioning fine. So I'm not
yeah,
I'm not have not been concerned about it because it's been I think like about a month that I haven't been able to download that. So,
Right.
or install
Yeah.
it. I can download it, but I can't install it.
Yeah. I don't know. And you said you've tried turning off your antivirus and everything
Yep.
when you do the installation. So yeah, there's a couple things I could try. Like, but and I can also look at it. If you could text me, there's like an update number. It's like a couple of numbers and letters.
Oh, okay.
Like Windows Update, 2HSW or something like that.
Whatever that is, I'll get it. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be helpful. But yeah.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me.
All right. Well, have
Okay.
a good weekend.
You as well.
Yep.
All right.
Have some fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.